So, most of you already know about the dress code that was implemented this year about shorts, but if you don't know and if you don't go to SAS, there was a new dress code implemented at the beginning of this year that said that girls and boys couldn't wear shorts on Free Dress Day. Now, a lot of people were really, really angry about this. They were like, this is unfair, it's hot in Singapore, this is just not cool. And I was mad about it too, but I think I was mad about it for mainly a different reason. So, because everyone was mad about it, at a student forum, they asked why they created this dress code. And the admin, one of the reasons the admin said they created it was because it was distracting. Now this is when I got really mad. So by saying it's distracting, there are a lot of negative consequences, but before I go into that, I just want to say that I'm not attacking SAS. This is a much bigger problem than that. A lot of other schools have created dress codes like this. In the States, there was one school, or a couple of schools that have banned yoga pants because it outlines girls' figures too much, and workplaces have also done rules similar to this. So firstly, this puts the blame for boys' responses on girls. You're basically telling girls that they must cover up to stop boys from oogling because they just can't control themselves. You're not going to the root of the problem and teaching them how not to be distracted, if boys are even distracted by shorts and girls in shorts. So this is firstly offensive to guys, and if I was a guy, I'd be pretty mad about this because you're saying that they're animalistic and they can't control themselves and all this kind of stuff. Secondly, you're teaching people that what a girl wears defines them and defines actions of others against them, and that it's their fault that the actions other people's actions are their fault. You're also teaching people that girls' bodies are wrong and it doesn't belong to them, and you are how you dress, and that the girls are sexual objects of lust and desire that need to be covered up to ensure males can continue learning without getting distracted by their body. So this whole idea sounds awfully similar to rape culture. The notion of telling people how to prevent getting raped instead of telling people to stop raping. It sounds similar to don't get raped instead of don't rape. So rape culture links rape and sexual violence to a culture that normalizes, excuses, and tolerates it. And this rule actually perpetuates that because people are encouraged to assume that these crimes have to do with the victim's suggestive clothing and or behavior, rather than teaching people to be responsible for their own actions and to respect others. This is because we have been taught that boys will be boys and that girls are the issue and it's the girls' fault, they have to cover themselves up. And this gets translated into questions like, well, what was she wearing? Was she drunk? Well, she must have been really drunk. Oh, what was she doing? And statements like, oh, well, she provoked him. It wasn't his fault. He couldn't help himself. Firstly, this doesn't really make much sense because rape is rarely about sex and it's mainly about power and control. But more relevant to this topic, this leads to victim blaming, blaming the victim of rape that it was her fault that happened to her instead of the perpetrator. And this is horrible and it's never, ever, ever true. So, what do we do now? Educators, it's important to break social barriers, especially ones as bad as this, and to teach respect instead of shame and blame. Teenagers and other people, you are not your body, you are not an object, and it is not your fault. It is important to be aware, to learn to respect other people's bodies and other people, and to learn to respect your own body and yourself, regardless of what other people are saying. And it's important to be aware so you can learn to stand up for these issues. Thank you.